Hey, how's it going, people? GalacticJerry here with another unboxing video. Today we'll be unboxing this Bandai Spirits Ichiban Kuji prize figure of Chizuru Mizuhara from the anime Rent-A-Girlfriend. Quickly looking at the box, we have a pink box with her name on both sides and a viewing window that allows us to see the actual figure inside, which is always pretty neat. Would have been even neater if the box, in addition to the viewing window, also had pictures of the figure as well. That aside, if you guys are interested in buying this figure, I'll try to have some links down in the description for you to check out. With that said, let's get to the unboxing. The box comes with the figure and base. Putting her together is straightforward, just a matter of inserting the holes on the bottom of her right foot into the matching pegs on the base. However, keep in mind that if you push the pegs down on the base, they will slide off. So when you attach the figure to the base, make sure the plastic piece that's part of the pegs is held from the bottom of the base so they don't pop off when you push down on them. To make things easier, just place the base on a flat surface. That way you don't have to use your fingers to hold the pegs up when you attach the figure. The flat surface will do that for you, and thus making it easier. The base is nice enough. It has a white grayish glossy semi-translucent finish to it that looks pretty good. It also has some design to it, which is always appreciated. That way the base doesn't look as plain and boring like we usually get with a lot of these price figures. Also want to mention that the base wasn't completely leveled at the bottom, and because of that it causes a bit of a wobble when you tap on the base, which is very unfortunate because the figure itself is a bit shaky as well when you give her a slight tap. I think the shakiness of the figure has to do with how tall she is and the way she's standing on one foot and the design of the pegs. So yeah, the unleveled base didn't help in any way. It actually made things worse. Speaking of the size of the figure, she's surprisingly tall. We're looking at about 9¼ inches tall without the base and about 9½ inches tall with the base. So yeah, she's about the height of what a 1/7 scale figure would be, which is really impressive for this type of figure. The figure itself is really nice looking, especially for being a prize figure. The shading and colors of the figure look great. The details are good overall. I really like the different shades of brown her hair has, especially around the tips. Her outfit looks fantastic. It really suits her. Definitely my favorite part of this figure. Really like the level of classiness the coat gives her. Her skirt came out really good as well. The paint application was good, and the shading and has just adds more depth to the figure. Her pink purse has nice little details, and the build quality is solid, especially the straps. One thing I would like to point out is that the purse doesn't hang loose. It's glued onto her coat, and so is part of the strap, which was very ingenious because that way it'll be less likely to break off. Her coat has a nice sculpt and her sleeves have some good wrinkles. The paint job on the coat's buttons and buttonholes could have been better. Some of them either needed a bit more paint or the paint needed to stay within the boundaries a bit better. But again, it's a prize figure, so it's to be expected, especially with such small details. Plus, it's not like it's anything egregious or noticeable. It's only when you start looking for these things up close that you notice these small imperfections. Speaking of small little details, I like that she has painted fingernails. A small little detail that is always welcomed. Paintwork application on the figure is adequate. Some tiny spots where we have paint scuffs, paint chips, scratches, blemishes, you name it. Like on her shoes, there was a small paint scuff on her right one and a small paint chip on her left heel. Small blemish around her left side of her waist, small black paint scratch on the outer right side of her coat, but that one is harder to spot since that part of the coat is folded upwards so it blocks it from view. Also a tiny blemish on top of her head, but again this is all very minimal and it's hard to notice them until you start inspecting her up close and start looking for imperfections no matter how small they might be. Her legs are very nice and slim and have very good shape to them with a clean paint job, and what's even better, no noticeable parting lines or molding lines. And for us men of culture out there who are wondering how it looks under the hood, I can confirm it looks very nice. And instead of giving her the usual white panties they usually give to female anime character figures, they gave her something a bit sexier. Some pink ones that reveal more and shows off her butt cheeks a bit more. Well, I'm just going to leave that there before y'all think I'm a perv or something. Moving on. While we're on the topic of molding lines, her socks do have some seam lines, but it isn't very noticeable since her socks are short, so it's not going to be something that stands out too much. Her shoes, aside from the small imperfections I mentioned earlier, look good. The brown color has a nice shading going on for them. Her face looks okay. You can still tell that it's her, but her face did look better in the stock images compared to the actual product. I think it has to do something with the shape of her face. It needed to be a bit rounder like in the promotion pictures. I don't know, what do you guys think? Maybe I'm just tripping. Her stance is static for the most part, but her flowy hair, coat and skirt gives us the impression of movement as if the wind was turning them over slightly, thus giving it a dynamic element to what would have been a mostly static pose if it weren't for the gust of wind moving her clothes and hair. Speaking of her pose, I really liked it. I think it's very fitting of the character, and I think it's cute how she has her left foot slightly raised off the base. Overall, this is a great looking figure, great colors, outfit, details and size. And the only downside on mine was the unleveled base and her face, which I'll leave up to you to decide if something is off with it. I bought mine off of eBay for like $46 several months ago, and it's probably going for more these days. Regardless, I would still recommend her if it's within your budget, or quite simply if you like the character. But yeah, that should do it for this unboxing review video. Let me know in the comment section below what you think of this figure. Also, feel free to hit the like button and to subscribe. It really does help the channel and video. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. I still got a ton of unopened figures that I'll eventually make unboxing videos out of. But other than that, thanks for watching, and I guess I'll catch you next time.